Marc Gasol's jersey retirement.
Yep.
The ceremony took place after the game on Saturday against the Philadelphia 76ers. I am going to say this again because I was not here for the Core Four, but I was part of covering the Raptors championship when Marc was there. So I do have
that's cool.
I do have a connection to Marc, obviously not when he was here in Memphis, but I understand the impact that the Core Four had on the franchise and on the city. And for me to watch it, it was less like it was less for my own like, oh wow, this is really sentimental for me. But like to see how everyone else viewed it was special to me. Like I felt heartwarmed watching how special it was to the fans, how special it was to the coworkers who was here. And so I definitely saw it from a different perspective. But man, when the Core Four, these four guys who have not been together since they played here, when the camera first went on them, so I was sitting in the tunnel, but I was still watching up top because the lights were so friggin' bright. I couldn't look back. When I saw the four of them and I heard the crowd go bananas, I almost lost it. I'm an emotional mess, like, period anyway, but I almost lost it.
It was so cool. And as someone that's like a day one Grizz fan and you know, was before started working here, like, I was just we went to those playoff games. Man, it was just so cool seeing those guys together and hearing them tell stories on the stage. I love the panel. I'm so glad Mike got to come back and be a part of that because, you know, he had a game the night before, game the night after. So that was logistically difficult. And so I'm glad he was able to come and be back. But, you know, people outside of Memphis have kind of cracked their jokes about the retiring these guys' jerseys, and you know, because we've talked about building statues for them one day and things like that.
Because they didn't win a championship?
Yeah, and just because like their success and the recognition they're getting for it, maybe, you know, other teams that have done more don't even get that same kind of recognition, right? But the big difference is
it depends what you consider more.
This team, those four guys are the reason that the city of Memphis fell in love with the Grizzlies. Like it literally started the connection of the franchise and the city. You know, I know they had playoff appearances before. They didn't win any games. Yeah, they went 0-12 in the playoffs before the Core Four reign started. But those guys made people care about the Grizzlies and started packing out the arenas. And it's just, again, like, I don't think enough can be said about the connection. Like, that's what sports is about. Like, you know, just your team, like your guys, like your legends. That's, you know, we talk about legends with WWE. Those guys are Grizzlies legends. Like, they're always going to be, because so many people's first memories of the Grizzlies are moments with those guys. And so it was a great moment. It was cool. Seeing all the former players besides just the Core Four be there. Like, you had a ton of guys come back and support Mark. Darrell Arthur, Beno was here, John Lure was here, Quincy. I saw your video with Quincy, Rudy Gay, Kyle Lowry came out after the game and hung out for a little bit. Nick Nurse, who was
Kyle Lowry was part of that championship run too. So I think it was kind of cool to have him, because this was scheduled, right? Like, we knew it was gonna, I mean, he wasn't on the Sixers at the start of the season. So I do think that's kind of like a cool bonus that he got to be there for Marc too, because they have a special relationship as well.
Yeah. And I thought that the ceremony was really well done. Like, shout out to the Grizzlies. Grizzlies do this kind of stuff better than anybody. Yeah.
That was really well done.
Yeah, it was. Especially, I mean, things like that can drag sometimes. People were in their seats the whole time for the whole ceremony, and it was a long ceremony. I thought the video montage they did was great. Marc finally watched the documentary. He gave a shout out to Blevins for making the documentary, so that was cool, just hearing him talk about that. But again, like, the storytelling was just so cool from those guys. Mike talking about how he was the young guy and had to, you know, try to find his voice with those three, like, big personalities. And Marc apologized to his teammates and coaches for losing his mind a couple times over the years. So it was cool. We have a video from it. Let's go ahead and play it. It's 3 minutes long, but it's Marc's speech. It's Marc's speech right before his jersey goes up in the rafters. Let's watch that.
Marc Gasol, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you. Thank you so much. Before I start, thanking everybody and rightfully so, this morning I got a chance to watch a wonderful documentary about myself. I was a little shy, I didn't want to watch it. Great job, Michael Blevin. And I have two takes after I watched that. One is I gotta start working out. That's the first thing. I'm like, okay, big fella, you gotta start moving. And second is, I gotta apologize to my teammates, my coaches. I'm sorry. Sometimes I know I could be a pain in the ass. I just care so much about this city and about winning and playing the right way. So thank you. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you. The last week we've been here with my family, enjoying the city, driving around and spending time together, seeing a lot of familiar faces, seeing a lot of old friends, and the love and unwavering respect that we got from the fans and everybody in the city will forever stay with us. So thank you for that. That will, that means the world to us, seriously. We got here in 2001, and your constant support and love, I think it goes with everybody, so thank you so much for that, seriously. Back when I was 19 years old, I used to play a game like I'm sure many of the kids still do today. I used to imagine I was Michael Jordan with the fadeaway. I imagine I was Larry Bird with a three, or Magic Johnson with a no-look pass. 25 years later, I kind of played the same game after I got traded from the Grizzlies to the Raptors. I imagine, how would Tony Allen approach this defensive assignment that he has tonight against the best player in the other team? What would his mindset be? When they let me, or they asked me to, I thought, okay, how is Zebo going to take over, this stretch of the game and be a beast on the block? And through it all, I thought, how is Mike Conley going to keep it all together in a championship run? So when I was able to, accomplish the biggest goal as a basketball player, which is to win an NBA ring, these three guys that meant so much to me along the way, were right there with me at the floor. For that and many other reasons, thank you. I'll be thankful forever, and grit and grind.
So my main takeaway, is my microphone on?
You're on.
My main takeaway, two main takeaways. One, I loved the part where he was like, during that championship run, I would be like, how does Tony do this? That was just cool. So special. Yes. And then I think it was known about his championship ring. I'm assuming you guys knew about this, at least in the Toronto side. We did the grit and grind engraved on the inside. But that was the third picture they showed on the Jumbotron of his ring. The first one, they put up the picture. It's the front of it. It says, Gasol championship. The crowd's like, oh, so nice. Like, right. Yeah, we're so happy for you. The third picture was the engravement of grit and grind. The crowd went bananas.
That was cool.
Bananas.
Yeah, that was cool. Man, yeah. I wish he could have won a championship here, but I'm glad he got that ring. And it was a cool night all around. That was really awesome. So Marc Gasol jerseys hanging up in the rafters.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.